as you all know, Amar Chitra Katha is coming up with its first feature film, animation film, that's Sons of Ram. Heroes Will Rise in theaters on 2nd November. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Kushal Ruia, who is writer and director for Sons of Ram and the head of animation, ACK Animation Studio.
Hello everyone, hope everybody's having a good time. Our journey with Sons of Ram and Comic Con started a year ago. I don't know if those who are here would probably remember. We showed a little work in progress clip of the movie coming together. And a year later we have come a full circle. The movie's coming out in theaters in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to start off with showing you the same clip, but in finished form now. It's one of the songs from the film, so I hope you like it.
अयोध्या अयोध्या हम चल पड़े अयोध्या
अयोध्या अयोध्या सच हुए सपने
न जाने क्या क्या होगा
मेरे सपनों जैसा होगा
तो गाड़ी घुमाओ सब जल्दी से आओ
हमें ले चलो अयोध्या
अयोध्या अयोध्या चले चलो
अयोध्या
क्या मिलेंगे श्री राम और महारानी सीता लक्ष्मण सिखाए धनुष बाण चलाना जैसे एक योद्धा
रामायण सुनाओ सबको गा गा कर अपने सितार की ताल पर अयोध्या
दरबा क्या ये सच है?
सड़कें सुनहरी हैं, सुनहरी है मंदिर की घंटियां
शूरवीर राजाओं के गुण गाती है सारी ये दुनिया अजूबों का देश स्वर्ग है वो सूरज की तरह चमकता है वो
रंग बिरंगे फूल और पंछी मिलते हैं हरी भरी घास को देखकर हटती नहीं उससे
नजरें अयोध्या अयोध्या हम चल पड़े अयोध्या 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 सच हुए सपने
और कितनी दूर जाना है?
उतनी ही दूर जाना है
अरे देखो दोस्तों हम पहुंच गए
अयोध्या 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 एक अद्भुत लोक अयोध्या 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 जाए हम लोग अयोध्या 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 एक अद्भुत
We're just going to show you the first teaser for the movie also to follow up.
विघ्नानि नाशमायन्तो सर्वाणि सम्यक् अमरमुहुं मधुरमुहुं अहं ब्रह्मास्मि
And if that wasn't enough incentive to get you to the theaters on 2nd November, we have another little treat for you guys. You guys know of Tinkle, right? Yeah. Okay. So there's a character named, what's his name? Shambhu. Anybody heard of him? Okay. So he's going to make his animated debut in theaters just before Sons of Ram, an exclusive short film starring him and the crazy, crazy man-eater. So that's Shambhu and the Man-Eater in theaters on 2nd November before Sons of Ram. And they are here with us, Shambhu and the Man-Eater. So we'll invite them on stage. So say hello to Shambhu and the Man-Eater.
Thank you, Kushal. Now to have a quick chat with ACK creative team, let me invite first Devansh Doshi, who has done the voiceover for Cush, and Elisa Louis, the casting and performance director. Now my first question, I'll start with Mr. Kushal, who is writer and director for this movie. My first question is, how did the idea of a making film of Sons of Ram came about?
The reason why we chose Sons of Ram is the main reason is probably one of the most popular Amar Chitra Katha comics to begin with. And secondly, we thought that we could tell the story in a way which hasn't been told before. I mean, luv-kush has not been said the number of times as probably a Krishna or a Ganesha has. And so there was plenty of opportunity to reinvent the story and at the same time stay true to the roots of mythology and yet make it fun and entertaining for a modern audience. So we wanted to take up that challenge and bring it to the theaters for that particular reason.
And how was the experience while making this movie, Sons of Ram?
Madness, but fun. Yeah, we live for that. So it was great. It was quite a ride. It was a 2-year-long journey, and we have. The movie turned out great, and I just can't wait for everybody to see it. You know, it was, yeah, that's about it. It's awesome.
Thank you. And now my next question is to Elisa. How did you decide on the cast for the film?
Well, initially the age group is supposed to be 10-year-olds, so we did try 10-year-olds, but we couldn't get them to really, perform to the level we wanted them to, and give you the wise ones back. And so Kushal and I decided, let's try some older boys with younger voices, and we'll try and pitch them up a little bit to sound like a 13-year-old, 12, 13-year-old, not settle for the 10. And that's how Kush came into being. And Love is Aditya Kapadia. So these two were chosen for Love and Kush, most of all because just that little snappy bit that they had. He has a little, I think he is Kush in real life and Aditya is Love in real life. They're just the right cast for this.
Thank you so much. My next question is to Mr. Devansh. How was the experience of doing voiceover for Cush?
Well, to start off with, working with these guys was absolutely amazing, For an actor, I mean, I'm an actor, so for an actor, it's like the best workshop that one can ever have. The experience was totally, I mean, we wrapped it up in no time, but made sure that we stuck to what we had imagined, what we had envisioned for ourselves. And it wasn't like, I mean, it's a cliche, but it wasn't like work. It wasn't like we were going to work every day and slogging ourselves, and it's a really tough job that we don't enjoy. The whole story, the whole environment of the movie is such that it puts you in a fun zone completely. And if you watch the movie, you'll know that it's for kids, but it's for the whole family as well. We've brought out a very modern version of Sons of Ram, keeping intact the mythological facts, and overall it's just something that all of us learned a lot from, and yeah, I mean the result is out. It's great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Again to Kushal, how was the animation different from the 3D animated movies?
Sons of Ram uses beautiful hand-drawn animation, which is become very rare today. It's a very sought-after event when a hand-drawn animated movie comes out internationally. And Sons of Ram kind of does that because the resources that are needed to draw every frame by frame, the characters is a dying art form today. So Sons of Ram tries to kind of, handle that head on with beautiful backgrounds, beautiful character designs, and there's so much appeal in the art. It's very rare. And to top it off, he's doing it in 3D, which is kind of bringing out the beautiful art 2D art form. Because normally the movies that do get converted to 3D are usually either CG or live action, and they already have a third dimension. So 2D animation, hand-on animation doesn't have inherently that third dimension. So converting this movie into 3D just adds something which wasn't there, and it's just phenomenal to look at. You have to see it with your own eyes to know how beautiful it looks. And that's about it. It's a visual treat, the movie.
Hi.
It's like, if I can sum it up, it's like a beautiful handwritten letter in the world of mundane emails. That's how it is.
Okay, so can you also include what is the USP of Sons of Ram?
Oh, it's just that it looks awesome and the storytelling is what the emphasis is on. And sorry, Ellie wants. It's a family entertainer, Ellie says, and she's right. Everybody's going to have a lot of fun. Yes, and it's not just for kids. I guarantee an adult will probably have more fun. No, it's arguable, but yeah, I think everybody will have enough fun. Yeah.
Great. So, Elisa, you have dubbed for live action films like The Dark Knight, Harry Potter. So, how was your experience with Sons of Ram?
Well, it's very, very different because when you're dubbing a live action Hollywood film, there are a lot of restrictions because there's hardcore lip sync, body language, it's a foreign face, you're trying to adapt it to your Indian audience. And yes, a lot of people have this thing कि अरे dubbed version है क्या यार बकवास क्या करते हैं इन लोग. But we from metros who speak English, we need to understand that there are people like the auto guys. I mean, for my own mother actually, she understands English but she would love to see a Hollywood film. But when we dub it, she enjoys it more because she understands it. Comparative to that, an original animation film is fun because you're actually acting. You're not dubbing. You are voice acting. That's what you're doing. You're playing the character. Instead of the camera, you have a mic. So the actors enjoy, the directors enjoy it, and it's absolute fun to dub anything that's original.
Great. So, Devansh, I'd like to ask you, it was difficult to adapt the character of Cush?
Well, in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. Somewhere I find myself being like Cush in real life, but obviously I'm not the exact replica of what Cush is. So to get those nuances correctly, to get those mannerisms correctly, to actually sound like a contrast of Love, who is like a completely calm, cool character. Kush is a character who's like completely spontaneous. He's on his feet. He doesn't think twice about doing something. I mentioned it in a previous interview as well. He's innocently brash. I mean, he's just extremely vulnerable and he's very lovable. I mean, though he's like on his feet and he won't care about anyone. He thinks he's right most of the times. He's a complete contrast to what Love is, and that's what makes the chemistry so workable. It is so refreshing to watch two brothers who are completely opposite and yet so lovable, and the fact that they love each other and their affection overall means more than anything, any differences that they have. As far as adapting to the characters concerned, see, any job that you do, you need a lot of advice. For me, what I believe is that original animation or dubbing or voicing for a character is one of the toughest things to do, because you're in a closed room, you're locked. There is restriction to your movements. To get that character right, it's all got to be in your voice, the expressions, everything. So you gotta before you start dubbing for it, you have to have a certain method to how you approach your character. You've got to start behaving like the character before you actually go into the room and start dubbing for it. That helps. I mean, most of the actors, it's known as method acting. though it is not visible, though my face wouldn't be visible, but the exact same expressions, if I was acting, are replicated in a character like Cush, in an animated character like Cush. So it is somewhere a tough process, but it is a fun process. And we have like great directors to help us out, so it's pretty easy then once you're there in the room. Yeah, yeah.
Great, great. A huge
you so much.
round of applause for our ACK creative team.
Thank you so much.